I'm going to be doing a MAT assessment on my patient right here with a T12 AJA spinal cord injury. So the first thing I will be assessing is posture and sitting. So while they're in their wheelchair, I'm just going to be looking if they have good head control, good trunk control, their elbows, are you able to put your elbows on your armrest? Good. I'm just going to look from a few angles here. Okay. I'm also looking at the pelvis and the low back and the hips. Looks like they have a slight posterior tilt, but fairly neutral. Over here I can do some assessments of upper extremity strength. Just put both arms out like that for me. And I'm going to push down, don't let me push it. Hold, hold, hold. Good. And go ahead and hold your arms like that. Don't let me pull you out. Go ahead and bend a little bit more. Bring it down. There. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Okay, hold them out again. Just going to push it in. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Okay, then hold your wrists out like that. Push up. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Can you hold your wrist like this? And I'm going to try to, yeah, there you go. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Fingers like that. Don't let me pull your fingers out. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Good. So let your fingers out like that. Good. 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 Don't let me pinch your fingers again. Oh, there you go. There you go. Good. Upper extremity strength is good, so then we'll move on to the MAT assessment. Okay, now that on the mat, the first thing I'm going to do is I'll just put my hand on the lower back to assess if I can get them into an anterior pelvic tilt. And then, placing my hands on the iliac crest, I can also assess pelvic mobility. And side to side. And rotation. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to hip range of motion. Good. Take a measurement for that. Okay. 105 for hip flexion. Okay. And then from here, I'm just going to assess internal rotation, external rotation, adduction, abduction. Good. And also dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. And last thing we'll do is hamstring muscle length. Good. Hold that. Put the hip at 90. (164 degrees of extension). Okay, and similar thing on this side, so just hip range of motion. So internal rotation, that's external rotation, internal rotation, and abduction, adduction, and dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, both good. Okay. And hamstring muscle length one more time. to sitting. Okay, and then in sitting we can assess their sitting balance, so whether they're independent, if they're able to sit without support, if they move their hands. And right now she's able to sit independently without use of hands. And then first, before I take the measurements, I'll just assess hip mobility in sitting and pelvic mobility in sitting to see if there's a flexible or a fixed deformity. So I'm just going to rotate your pelvis here. And you're able to get good pelvic mobility, so I would say. And they had good pelvic mobility in supine too, so there wasn't deformity. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to measurements, but I'll move my computer. So first measurement I'll take is the top of the shoulder before. Right here. And that is 23 inches for the left. $23.5 for the right. You can see. Okay, then acromion to the floor. Then 22.5 for the left. And 21.5 for the right. Okay, then the inferior angular scapula to the floor. 17.5 for the right. And 17 for the left. Okay. Then go ahead and hold your elbows like you're sitting in your wheelchair. There. I'm just gonna measure kind of by your side here. 10 inches for the left. And 10 inches for the right. And then I'm just gonna fill your hips real quick. Good. Okay, 7 inches for the left. And 7.5 for the right. Okay, I'll go ahead and get shoulder width here as well. 15.5 for shoulder width. And then I'll get hip width as well. 14.5 for hip width. And then it's also going to get the top of the head. Okay, 33.5 inches for the top of the head, if you can see that. And then occiput before 28.5. 28.5. And then I'll move to the front. And from here I can get chest width, 6.5 inches. Or sorry, chest depth was that one. And chest width would be 10 inches. Okay. And then I'll get seat depth, back of the knee to sacrum. That's 20 inches. 20 inches on this side. Okay, I'll get between the knees. Okay, 8 inches. And then we get knee to heel. So from here, let me adjust my angle. Okay. And that is 16 inches. I'll do the other side. And 16.5 inches on this side. And then foot length, 9 inches on this side. And 9 inches on the left side. Double check that I got everything. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.